If you've been scrolling through endless lists of business desktops, comparing specs, and still feel that knot in your stomach wondering which one actually makes sense for your office, this review is here to clear that up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last week setting up 2 different workstations, poking at their performance with the same set of everyday tools: Outlook, Teams, a few Chrome tabs, and occasional Photoshop tweaks, and I'll walk you through why the HP Elite Mini 800G9 might just be the pragmatic choice for many small to medium businesses, and where it could trip you up if your needs don't match. First off, the biggest hesitation most buyers have is the mini form factor. A compact tower sounds great for a tidy desk, but does it really hold up when you start plugging in a few peripherals, a second monitor, and perhaps a docking station? In practice, the Elite Mini uses a 7-inch chassis that fits neatly beside a laptop or a standing monitor. Because it's so small, the rear panel is limited to a handful of ports: 2 USB-C, 1 with power delivery, 2 USB-A 3.2, HDMI 2.1, Ethernet, audio in/out, and the classic VGA for legacy equipment. If you're the type who runs a 2-monitor setup with a USB-C hub or even a separate external graphics box, you'll find the ports sufficient. The HDMI 2.1 can drive a 4K display at 60 Hz without a hitch. However, if your workflow relies heavily on multiple USB-C devices or you need a dedicated Thunderbolt 4 line for fast external SSDs, you'll quickly run out of headroom. In that sense, the design trades flexibility for a clean footprint. Performance is where the G9 surprises most people. The i7-14700 brings 20 cores, with 5 performance cores boosting up to 5.4 GHz. In real-world office work, you rarely see those cores all firing at once, but the CPU's ability to juggle background updates, Outlook sync, Teams calls, and a nightly backup without slowing down is noticeable. I ran a batch of 500 Excel macros while simultaneously streaming a 1080p conference, and the system never dipped below 30 frames per second on the external monitor. For a business that runs virtual desktops or needs occasional data crunching, the 32GB DDR5 RAM and 1TB NVMe SSD keep everything fluid. That being said, the Elite Mini isn't a workstation built for heavy 3D rendering or AI model training. You'll feel the strain if you start compiling large codebases or running intensive video transcoding tasks. The headline specs sound like a high-end gamer rig, but the thermal envelope of a mini case means sustained heavy loads will cause the fan to spin up noticeably, adding a low-level hum that some users describe as distracting in quiet conference rooms. One of the most practical strengths is the out-of-the-box experience. HP ships the machine with Windows 11 Pro pre-installed, a full-size keyboard, and a mouse, everything you need to get a team member productive within minutes. The keyboard layout is a comfortable tankulus design, which pairs nicely with the compact desktop. You won't be fighting for desk space. The Wi-Fi 6 module also means a stable wireless connection if you're not hardwired, which is a nice safety net for remote-first offices. The Ethernet port, however, is only 1 gigabit per second. If your office already runs a 10 gigabits per second backbone, you won't be able to tap into that speed without an external adapter, which adds cost and another device to manage. From a cost perspective, the Elite Mini lands in the mid-range of business desktops. You're paying for the Intel 13th Gen processor, DDR5 memory, and a 1TB SSD, all of which would cost more if you bought them separately and assembled your own PC. The added value comes from HP's business-ready features: a TPM 2.0 chip for secure boot, a pre-configured BIOS that limits unauthorized changes, and a suite of remote management tools that IT departments love. If you're a small business without a dedicated IT team, those features can save you time and headaches. You get a machine that just works with enterprise security policies out of the box. On the flip side, the trade-off is that the machine is not easily upgradable. The RAM is soldered, so you can't add more memory later, and the SSD is a single M.2 slot, meaning you're stuck with the 1TB you start with unless you swap it out entirely. For startups that anticipate rapid data growth, that could become a bottleneck sooner rather than later. Who should buy it? If you are a consultant, a remote worker, or a small office manager who needs a reliable, fast computer that won't dominate your desk, the Elite Mini makes sense. Its performance comfortably handles the typical office suite, moderate multitasking, and occasional creative work like light photo editing. It's also a solid choice for a shared hot desk environment. The quick boot times, secure Windows 11 Pro configuration, and included peripherals mean any employee can sit down and start working without a long onboarding process. Conversely, if you are a graphics-intensive professional, a data scientist, or anyone who plans to expand storage and memory over the next few years, the lack of upgrade paths